A comprehensive movie review of Meet Joe Black. Meet Joe Black is a film that dares to ask life's biggest questions. At its heart, it's a tale about love, loss, and what happens when death decides to take a holiday. Released in 1998 and directed by Martin Brest, Meet Joe Black stands out as an ambitious drama, blending the ethereal with the human. Yet, it's a movie that divides audiences. Some see it as a profound meditation on mortality, while others find its pacing and tone challenging. Plot overview: When death comes knocking. The plot revolves around Bill Parrish, played by Anthony Hopkins, a billionaire businessman preparing for his 65th birthday. His life is thrown into turmoil when he starts hearing a mysterious voice. Soon after, death, personified as Joe Black, Brad Pitt, enters his life. Joe has come to take Bill away, but he proposes a deal. Bill can have a few extra days to live if he allows Joe to experience life on Earth through him. Complications arise when Joe becomes romantically entangled with Bill's daughter, Susan Parrish, Claire Forlani, creating a love triangle that's anything but ordinary. Meet Joe Black is an exploration of the human condition, asking what it means to live fully and love deeply, while death waits in the wings. Brad Pitt is Joe Black, death with charm and innocence. Brad Pitt plays Joe Black with an innocence that is both captivating and unsettling. As death in human form, Pitt's portrayal is unique in that it's neither sinister nor terrifying. Instead, his Joe is wide-eyed, curious, and sometimes even clumsy as he navigates life for the first time. It's a performance that's often criticized for being too detached, but there's an underlying charm to Joe's curiosity. His romantic entanglement with Susan is where Pitt shines, bringing vulnerability to a character who, by definition, should be devoid of emotion. While Joe's arc is emotionally complex, some viewers may find Pitt's subdued performance too stoic for a character that evolves from an enigma into someone capable of love. Anthony Hopkins as Bill Parrish, a dignified approach to mortality. Anthony Hopkins as Bill Parrish delivers a commanding performance as a man confronting his own mortality. Hopkins is the soul of the film, balancing Bill's fear of death with his steadfast principles and love for his family. His scenes with Pitt are a masterclass in understated acting, particularly when Bill tries to come to terms with the fact that death is living under his roof. Hopkins brings dignity and wisdom to a character grappling with questions of legacy and love. His interactions with Joe and Susan reveal a deeply personal journey of acceptance, and it's this emotional thread that anchors the entire film. Claire Forlani as Susan Parrish, torn between life and death. Claire Forlani plays Susan Parrish, Bill's daughter, whose life is upended when she meets Joe Black. Forlani's Susan is a woman torn between her loyalty to her father and the powerful attraction she feels for Joe. There's an almost hypnotic connection between Susan and Joe from the moment they meet, and Forlani plays Susan with a tenderness and vulnerability that complements Pitt's otherworldly detachment. However, her character's lack of depth beyond the romantic storyline has been a point of critique. Though the chemistry between Forlani and Pitt is undeniable, Susan's role in the story feels somewhat underdeveloped in the larger scheme of the narrative. The supporting cast, a web of relationships. The supporting cast helps to enrich the world of Meet Joe Black, with standouts like Marcia Gay Harden as Allison, Susan's sister, and Jeffrey Tambor as Quince, Bill's loyal and somewhat bumbling son-in-law. Harden's performance adds a much-needed layer of familial complexity, offering moments of levity and tension in equal measure. Tambor, with his gentle comedic touch, provides the film's few moments of humor, but also contributes to its emotional depth, particularly in scenes where Quince tries to win Bill's approval. Jake Weber, as Drew, plays the corporate antagonist in the film, pushing for a deal that threatens Bill's legacy. While his role may seem like a standard corporate villain, Weber manages to imbue Drew with enough charisma to make him more than just a plot device. His interactions with Susan, as her former flame, offer an interesting contrast to her budding relationship with Joe. Martin Brest's direction, a film of patience and ambition. At the helm of Meet Joe Black is Martin Brest, a director known for films like Scent of a Woman and Beverly Hills Cop. Brest is no stranger to tackling emotional and philosophical themes, and here, he takes his time, perhaps too much time, crafting a story that asks its audience to reflect. Clocking in at 3 hours, the film's pacing is deliberate, and while that slow burn allows for deep character development, it may test the patience of some viewers. Brest's direction is methodical, focusing on the intimate moments between characters rather than high-stakes drama. The quiet, reflective scenes allow the audience to ponder the weighty themes of life and death, but at times, it feels as though the film could have benefited from tighter editing. The visual mastery of Emmanuel Lubezki. If there's one thing that's beyond reproach in Meet Joe Black, it's the stunning cinematography by Emmanuel Lubezki. Known for his work in visually rich films like Gravity and The Revenant, Lubezki brings a soft, almost dreamlike quality to the film. The use of natural light, muted colors, and sweeping shots of the parish estate give the movie a timeless, ethereal feel. Lubezki's ability to create intimate, almost painterly frames elevates the film's slower moments, making even the most mundane interactions between characters feel visually poetic. His collaboration with Brest is a testament to the film's quiet beauty, even when the plot struggles to keep pace. The themes, love, death, and what lies between. What makes Meet Joe Black resonate with its audience is its exploration of love and death in ways that are both literal and metaphorical. Joe Black's journey into the human world isn't just about him experiencing life for the first time, it's also about Bill learning how to let go and face his mortality with grace. At its core, the film is about making peace with life's inevitable end, but it also offers a meditation on the power of love to transcend even the most final of boundaries. The film asks big, philosophical questions. What does it mean to live a good life? What would you do with your final days? And how does love alter our perception of time? While it doesn't always provide clear answers, it's this ambiguity that makes Meet Joe Black both frustrating and fascinating. Criticism, where Meet Joe Black falls short. For all its beauty and ambition, Meet Joe Black is far from a perfect film. Its biggest flaw is undoubtedly its length. At 3 hours, the movie stretches its premise almost to the breaking point, with certain scenes lingering long after their emotional impact has been made. The pacing can feel meandering, and while Brest's direction is sensitive, it sometimes feels indulgent. For a film that's so focused on the inevitability of time running out, it paradoxically seems reluctant to reach its conclusion. The dialogue, too, can sometimes feel stilted, particularly when Joe Black speaks. While Pitt's performance is memorable, his portrayal of death often comes across as overly robotic, and the film's attempt to humanize him is only partially successful. Final verdict, a slow but thoughtful meditation on life. Meet Joe Black is a film that rewards patience. It's not for everyone, and its deliberate pace, coupled with its nearly 3-hour runtime, will certainly be off-putting to some viewers. However, for those willing to dive into its reflective narrative and philosophical questions, there's much to admire. The performances, particularly by Anthony Hopkins and Brad Pitt, carry the film, and the cinematography is nothing short of breathtaking. In the end, Meet Joe Black is a flawed yet intriguing film, one that seeks to make you think about life's biggest questions, even as it asks you to slow down and enjoy the ride.